Hi, everybody. I'm Brendan Jenks, the investor coach here in Kansas City. And I knew this topic today of what's the market going to do next would be a popular one, as there's a lot of talk about that in the media, too. Well, in 1963, that was also a common or a much talked about topic. And I read a speech recently from a man by the name of Dr. Benjamin Graham. I have a link to that entire transcript on this post. He gave this speech in 1963 in the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. And I was impressed by not only his credentials are amazing. He's really the father of what we call the intelligent investor. But some of his thoughts, I just want to read one quick comment about his views of economic forecasting, of stock market forecasting, and expert selection of common stocks in their relationship to investment and speculative profits that can be made from those things. So he said, here's my reasons for being skeptical about those. I say first that to the extent that an economic forecast appears dependable, and it is generally so only for the short term, its effect is likely to be already reflected in the market level, and there is not a way to make money from it. For example, we cannot say because the forecast for 1964 is favorable that common stocks should be bought today. The price of common stocks today, as everybody should know, reflects the general expectation of a good 1964. On the other hand, longer-term business forecasts have proven unreliable on the whole. He also adds, my views about what investment policy you as individual investors should take are definite and strong. In my nearly 50 years of experience, so that goes back to 1913, of experience in Wall Street, I found that I know less and less about what the stock market is going to do, but I know more and more about what investors ought to do. And that's a pretty vital change in attitude. Folks, I had a pretty vital change in my attitude when I came to understand, and I'll step behind a little prop here. This is a simple formula, okay, to be a successful investor. Now, the brain, the cognitive side of this formula says owning equities long-term, diversifying and rebalancing needs to be greater than your instincts, emotions, perceptions, magnified by the media. This is a really important formula. And it's also one that I know that the mainstream financial services industry is not communicating to investors out there. So my encouragement is twofold. Think about your own situation. Are you behaving in a way that is greater than the cognitive side? Owning equities long term, being diversified, and rebalancing are the only three things you need to do to be a successful investor. But are you doing it? So ask yourself that question. My next encouragement is to make sure that C is greater than all those others. Work with an investor coach. Work with someone that will deliver structured, engineered asset class investment portfolios that's not driven to sell you a commission-based product, and really, most importantly, understands that knowing how you behave is much greater than convincing you that they know what the market's going to do next. Thanks for listening. I'm Brendan Jenks, the investor coach.